Hi, welcome to week 3. Um, this discussion usually gets students going, so make sure that you're kind of respectful with each other as you go along in your discussion about whether or not we've changed since 1692 when the Salem witch trials were happening. A little bit of history about that because it's fascinating. I mean, I think that the whole witch thing is interesting to a lot of people. Um, on a lot of different levels. You know, one, is it real? Two, the fact that people were accused by young girls at the beginning. What happened to all of this? Again, history. And in case I didn't tell you, I'm getting my master's in history actually from APUS because I love it. And if you realize, I give you a lot of historical evidence here. Uh, The Salem trials happened for a lot of reasons. And again, I want you to really think about how far have we come when you compare what was happening then and what's happening now to different cults or sects of people. Sects, S-E-C-T-S. 140 people were accused from all walks of life. The reason, and there was a couple of different reasons behind it. But the idea was that things were so hard for the Puritans and they struggled so much that they felt that God was punishing them. And that should ring a bell somewhere in the back of your head about a group of people that were being punished because they didn't fall in line with God's way of life. They were not burned at the stake in colonial America. They were burned at the stake in Europe. Joan of Arc being one of those who was burned at the stake, not necessarily for a witch, but for heresy, kind of the same thing, meaning you didn't go along with the religion of the time. Our people were hanged, and one was pressed to death. They would usually lay, and there was quite a few people that were pressed to death for different offenses, but they would lay like a door on you and then put rocks on you. I can't imagine it would be a terrible, terrible way to die. Put rocks on you until you suffocated, would be my guess. There are a lot of stories out there about the witch trials. Some of them have no historical backing. Some of them are skeptical at best in terms of the who, what, when, where, and why. But it's just one of those things that you really have to think about. 140 people, only 19, well, I don't want to say only, that's terrible. 19 people were killed, 18 by hanging, 1 by pressed to death. There were in Europe, they gave you the choice. They would throw you into this was a very quick moment, but it's kind of an interesting ghoulish part of history. They would throw a witch into the water, and if she drowned, then she wasn't a witch. If she drowned, then she wasn't a witch. If she floated, then she was a witch, and they would pull her out and hang her or burn her. So it's kind of like, kid me. That didn't happen very often. But you have to really take a look at persecuted people, which is what I want us to kind of focus on in this reading. Is we're less than 300 years old as a nation. We have taken groups of people along the Chevron Way and beat them to a pulp, killed them for some reason, enslaved them, whatever it is you want to say. We've been very good at taking groups of people and ostracizing them, condemning them, labeling them, making them somewhat less than the rest of us. And so I really want us to look at how much have we changed, how little have we changed, why isn't there a greater change here? For a nation that purports to embrace everybody, is that really true? And if so, how can we have so many issues around people who are not like us being whoever, I don't know who we are. We'll take a look at down the road, what is an American? Define it, because it's a very different definition for every single person. And is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it as it is? So really, I want to see some good conversation here. Be very careful about the things that you say. I don't want any phobes, no homophobic comments, no xenophobic comments. Xenophobe is somebody who's afraid of foreigners or people from different countries. So be diplomatic in your discussions, but get deep in this, because I think that it's really important to take a look at who are we and who are we going to become if we still can't shake loose the shackles of racism and elitism and classism. I mean, are we any better off than colonial America? Haven't we had ministers on the television set railing and condemning groups of people? And is that any different than the minister who stood on the soapbox in 1692, railing against people who weren't particularly saintly in the eyes of God? It just really makes you think, you know, that's what this literature is about. And we're going to be really taking a look at the past, because the past is what causes the present. And the present is what dictates the future. So if you've got kids and you think, what kind of an America do I want them to grow up in? Let's hope that it's post colonial, because those times were rough. And yet, we're still taking out the club, and we're still pounding on a lot of different kinds of people. So it'll be interesting to see your comments. Keep in mind the history of this, though, because that is really important to take a look at where we've been. And I hope that helps. I hope you're enjoying the class. And for those of you that asked, yes, some of those swords are real. Some of them are replicas. I'm actually getting my master's in history from APUS. I should have majored in history, I think. I love English, but I do love history. It should come to life, and unfortunately, so many history teachers are so boring that you're just like, I can't stand it. I want you to really kind of enjoy it and learn to like it, and learn to read this stuff there, because again, some of it's really dry and hard. But I want you to read it like it's a journal and a diary, and to go, okay, how did we get from that to this? How do we take this and make it better? Because don't you want it to be better? Don't we want to leave the country better off than what they left it for us? What they left for us was, whew, not easy. That's it for today. And have a great week. And stay safe. And I hope you're enjoying these. I'll talk to you later.